You know the drill, you're hours into a road trip, staring through a windscreen that looks like a bug graveyard. You try and clean it, but the wipers just smear the mess into a blinding haze until your washer fluid runs completely dry. And when you finally get home, cleaning the baked off grime takes half your day. But it doesn't have to be like that. One side of this windscreen was treated with a ceramic glass coating, the other, one of the most popular water repellent coatings on the market. This is the difference after 2 long road trips. No wash, no wipe down, just rain and whatever water was in my washer bottle. What's up everybody, I'm Eamon and welcome back to Bush Business. Now, this is a subject that hits close to home for me. When I was 19, I was driving my Toyota Celica to uni early in the morning. The sun was directly in my eyes, so I hit the washers for a quick clean. Instantly, the smear completely blinded me, and before I knew what was happening, I slammed straight into the back of a stopped bus. Which I was of course tailgating because that's what you do when you're on your P-plates and you're 19 years old. It was a costly and embarrassing lesson that I'll never forget. I was broke, my family had very little money, and I didn't have insurance. But as a dad of 2, it hits differently now. I constantly think about what if I had hit a group of school children instead of crashing into a bus. 20 years later, I'm older and bolder, but the moral of the story hasn't changed. Driving with a dirty windscreen is dangerous. Luckily, however, I've spent the last 8 years using and testing products designed to fix this exact problem. So today I'm demonstrating how you can fix this problem by putting 2 products head to head to give you some ideas. Full disclosure, I sell IGL coatings in Australia for a living. This is what funds this YouTube channel and puts food on my family's table every night. It's not something I try to hide, it's plastered all over the side of my Land Cruiser and the channel's description. But I'm not going to tell you which products to buy in this video. I'm going to show you the real world results and show you the lab data, and then you can decide for yourself. If you do decide to grab some IGL products, thank you for supporting me. And if you don't, well, thank you for giving this video a view anyway. Also for transparency, the idea of rainx versus IGL window coating was triggered by a fellow YouTuber, Shane from Have a Crack. During one of our discussions, Shane asked, why would I buy IGL window over rainx? They do the same job and rainx is cheaper. A very valid question that I needed to answer, and this is what I'm doing in this video. Shane is a great guy and Have a Crack is a great channel, so be sure to check them out after watching this video. Let's get straight into business. In order to have a fair and accurate test, the Land Cruiser windscreen was thoroughly cleaned and polished with IGL Glass Plus. This product will remove any existing coatings, any stubborn bug splatter or contamination, and most importantly, any water spots or mineral deposit that can hinder the performance of either product, effectively giving us a blank canvas for our test. I then tried my best to run a strip of masking tape in the middle of the windscreen to give us 2 even and clear sides to coat. When looking at the Land Cruiser, the right hand side was coated with rainx, the left hand side was coated with IGL Window. I will leave links in the description below to the tutorials showing how to apply these products in more detail for you to watch later. However, for those who are not familiar with either product, both of these products are designed to make your windscreen more hydrophobic or more water resistant. The more resistant the windscreen is to water, the better your wiper blades will do their job, and in other words, they should make bug splatter or anything else on the windscreen less sticky and easier to clean. That's the idea anyways, but we're going to be putting it to the test. Both the products were applied in accordance to their manufacturer's instructions, and both were relatively simple to apply. However, I did find that rainx was slightly more tiring to apply with the product not wiping off as easily as the IGL window coating. With the windscreen now coated and the coatings cured, it was time to hit the road and go on a road trip. The rules of the test are simple and easy. No touching the windscreen with anything other than the wiper blades, no chemicals or cleaners, just the plain water in my windscreen washer bottle and whatever falls down on me from the heavens above. After my trip, I'm going to have a closer look at the windscreen to see if there is any noticeable difference in how much bug splatter there is between the 2 sides. My first destination will be a trip to my friends and customers at All 4 Mechanical to update my Just Autos tune file and install a low temperature thermostat in the Land Cruiser, followed by a night at Clyde River National Park and then back home. Approximately 8 hours and 700 kilometers of driving, and what a drive it was. Rain, bugs, and most critically, tree sap that washed down overnight from the trees at camp. By the time I had made it home, I had used the entire washer bottle to clean the constantly filthy windscreen. And here are the results. Despite my best efforts to show bug splatter using my Sony full-frame camera, the side coated with IGL Window has minimal bug splatter. The right-hand side of the windscreen coated with rainx has far more bug splatter and streaks. This round goes to IGL Window, however I wanted to keep the test going. After another week of daily driving, it was time for my next major trip, Sydney to Albury to pick up Dusty the trailer from Red Dust Fabrications. This was a 12-hour, 1,100-kilometer round trip, again with a camp stop in the middle. The trip was far more lively with heavy rain and fog. It also had far more dirt road and countryside driving. As of today, and after a total of 4 weeks since applying the coatings and 2,000 kilometers of driving, the differences speak for themselves. Without the windscreen being cleaned, the rainx coated side has noticeably more bug splatter and smears than the side coated with IGL Window. Same wiper blades, same amount of wiper blade usage, and the same environment driven in. Now, I can end the video here and call it a day, but I wanted to know the exact differences between the product's performance. After all, in bush business, we're all about data and facts, not show and tell. And one of the perks of my job is that I have access to some very smart people and some very smart equipment. So I asked IGL's Research and Development Lab to run both products through some ASTM and ISO testing. The kind of testing we carry out for our major clients and government to international testing standards. This way we can get some real data to compare the products. In true IGL fashion, a very comprehensive report was provided that covers every possible detail. However, in the interest of keeping this video to a reasonable length, I'm only going to summarize the conclusion for you, but there is a link to download the full report in the description below for those of you who want to read through it at your own pace. Both the IGL Window and rainx coatings improve the hydrophobic properties of the glass. No surprise, they're both good products to do just that. However, they achieve this in two different ways. IGL Window is vastly more hydrophobic, meaning it's more water repellent. Rainx, on the other hand, is not as hydrophobic as IGL Window, but it is slightly slicker, allowing the droplets to roll off the glass easier, something you can kind of see in the rain. But the biggest difference between the two products is actually in their durability. Whilst IGL Window continued to demonstrate strong hydrophobic properties after 8,000 scrub cycles, as in 8,000 wiper strokes, yes, we have a machine that tests that, rainx rapidly declined in less than 100 scrub cycles. Therefore meaning that each IGL Window application will last as long as 80 applications of rainx. So what does this mean for you and I? Look, like I said earlier in the video, I'm not here to tell you what product to buy, but the driving and lab tests clearly demonstrate that both of these products are better than not having anything applied at all. So you should coat your window with something regardless of whichever product you choose. However, one of the products today lasted 80 times longer than the other, it was easier to apply, and it was considerably better at reducing bug splatter. It also happens to help me make the videos on this channel. Shameless plug, I know. But let me know in the comments below, are you going to take 10 minutes to coat your windscreen? Or are you going to risk running up the back of a school bus like I did when I was 19? Also, if you enjoyed this video, please take the time to hit that like and subscribe button for me. It helps me out a lot. Finally, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.